Alright guys, what's up? Welcome to another OSCP advice video. This one should be pretty short, pretty brief, because this is more of like a quick tip, but I definitely assure you it's something that has really been beneficial to me, and I think that you guys would benefit from it as well. And that is the concept of taking a step away from something and then coming back to it with a fresh perspective. So, how does this play out in terms of OSCP is what you might be wondering. So, there's a lot of times in OSCP, and this is kind of like by design with the boxes and stuff like that, where there's rabbit holes, there's, routes that you can go down that might seem like the right thing to do, but then ultimately they're just there to distract you, to mislead you, whatever. If you look at other fields, like say you're a computer programmer, maybe you're trying to figure out how to get your code working and you're really focused in on one area, but you're not looking at the bigger picture, and you don't realize that instead of trying to figure out this technical problem to get this thing going and figuring out a workaround for the workaround, you should just design it a different way where this isn't an issue anymore, right? Then if you think in terms of, pretty much any field, right? There's always times where you have to take a step back and look at the more of the big picture stuff, because it's easy to get bogged down in the weeds of the technicalities. But then when you take a step back, you're like, well, what if I do it this different way? Or the answer just jumps out at you like, oh yeah, this is easy. I just do this, and then I'm good, right? Now, this is a phenomena that I've definitely experienced a lot of when it came to many things, kind of like I was stating before, but also especially for OSCP. There's been many times where I'm trying to get a shell on a box and I'm just struggling. I'm sitting there for hours and I'm like, I'm not getting up until I figure this out. And then, sometimes I do figure it out that way, but then other times I'm like, you know what? Let me step away for 5 minutes, take a walk, use the restroom, get some water, whatever. And then I come back and no joke, literally within 5 to 10 minutes, I figure it out. I get the shell and I'm like, wow, this was so obvious. This was so simple. How did I miss this before? But the thing is, it is very easy to miss these kinds of things when you're just so absorbed into what you're doing at that moment, when you're so bogged down in the weeds. So that's why it can be such a great benefit just to step away for a little bit and come back to it, reapproach it from a fresh perspective, right? That's why, if you think about a company, right, a lot of times when they hire on new people, those new people are able to identify issues that, with their processes or whatever that they didn't foresee because they're used to working in that environment every day. But then you put a fresh pair of eyes on something, right? Or you have like your friend proofread your essay that you wrote and they point out some really obvious, grammar mistakes or things that points you might have left off or whatever. And you're like, wow, that's so obvious. How did I not see that, right? It's just having that fresh set of eyes. You can manufacture this too, just by stepping away 5 to 10 minutes. You come back at it, you approach it again, and oftentimes it's almost like magic how this works, really. But yeah, definitely give it a try. Definitely give this tip a try, and let me know how it benefits you or doesn't down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.